Yeah. Hey, we're good. We're back. Apologies, people. There was something wrong my end. So judges had to take control to start that because I don't know what was going on. When you know that old sketch, computer says no. Computer says no. That was basically what it was saying to me. An error has occurred. I've not seen that before on StreamYard. So very, very bizarre. Lee, how are you, mate? You look like something out of Peaky Blinders. How are you?
Yeah. So I've been doing filming today, and I've just got into the house, and it's absolutely freezing. So I've whacked the heating on, but it hasn't warmed up in time. So I'm still in costume, as they say, at this moment in time. So there you go.
You are in costume, mate, and it suits you, I must say. I do like an old Peaky Blinders that, I must say. I don't think they really suit me, though. Do you know what I mean? You know when you get like hats or sunglasses or scarves or bully hats, some people it just don't suit. I think I'm one of those with the old Peaky hats. I don't know.
It's a shame.
I love them. I love them, but
I love them.
I just maybe I should try one and see what you see.
Yeah. The thing is with the Peaky Blinders hats, just don't go for one. There's so many different versions of them, like, you know what I mean. So like one might suit you and one might not, like, you know what I mean. So do a bit of shopping online, check them out, and yeah, like I've got one from a like same company, and that one don't suit me as much as the other ones. You know what I mean? Like, it's really weird.
Yeah.
I've got one that fits like.
Oh, Paul's giving it to you in the chat already. That doesn't suit Lee either. Jokes.
I tell you what, Paul, like, you know what I mean? Come and take me on then, you horrible bastard. Come on. You old keyboard warrior.
Right, love it, Paul. Love it. Big up to the chat, man. Make sure you do me a favor, hit the like button and hit subscribe. Make sure you're following both Lead Judges TV and Football's 12th Man. I'll be back at 8 p.m. tonight on my channel with a show with Igal, Northside, myself, Kenny Ken. We're all going to be talking about the situation at Arsenal, and that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today, Lee. Mikel has given his press conference, and there has been a lot of people that have been a little bit bamboozled by some of the things that he's saying, not just about the team news and about the fact that we're going for Carabao Cups. He's talked about January. He's talked about how the team are playing at the moment. And there's been quite a lot that I looked at that I was a little bit baffled by. I've got to say, it was a little bit confusing. But the thing that really did wind a few of the Arsenal fan base up was when he was asked questions about the trophies that he's won at Arsenal. And instead of me like saying what he'd said, because I actually tried to read it on the Arsenal.com website, they've obviously been embarrassed by it as well because they've taken it down and they've edited what he said. But what he actually did say when asked was that he was counting charity shields as basically as trophies. So let me see if I can share what it is that he'd said, because there's quite a lot of sort of thought about this. Let's get the sound on.
You turn them into title challengers, but it's only that one trophy in your first season. Does this competition and where you are now with a home time, the quarterfinal, represent a big chance for silverware?
Well, the charity shield as well twice, no? So it's three. Yeah.
It's coming up to 5 years now.
Now, that to me winds me up. That winds me up. And I'll tell you why it winds me up. Because I have never counted community shields as trophies. Now, if he's doing that tongue-in-cheek, some people say he's laughing about it and he's not only mucking around. I don't think he is, Lee, and I don't think he is. And I think that if he is going to now try to go down that road of, well, it ain't been that bad because we've won 3 trophies in 5 years, that is pure desperation. The rival fan bases are loving it. They're lapping it up. I've just been on with Terry and LB. Big up to them on the football terrace. Everybody in the chat, all absolutely howling, laughing at him, thinking that that is actually 2 trophies. What did you make of it, bro?
I just thought it was unnecessary for him to say it. I just think that was my thing, and all it's done is just made him be ridiculed. Like, it's by opposition fans, and of course, just put a bit more flames on the fire, which are just unnecessary. I spoke to you earlier on, didn't I? I said he looked uncomfortable today doing the press conference and all that. Pressure certainly is there a little bit, because of what's gone on this season. He must be kicking himself that things have not gone as well as what they should have done. But I don't think you need to put pressure on that. Yes, it's another 2 trophies, but at the end of the day, it ain't really, I think probably both of them that he's won. I don't know, maybe one of them. We got there on default. You know what I mean? We didn't even win the FA Cup or the league. I think it was City won the treble, didn't they? Was it City won the treble? I think they did, and that's what made us get into the final. We won it, didn't we?
That's right.
Yeah. So it was, we won it on default. So it is a bit of desperation from there. All he had to say was, "Yeah, I've won 1 trophy. I'm going out to win some more. I'm going trophy hunting." I just feel that it is unnecessary. A little bit of pressure being built up on Mikel now, and lots of ludicrous people saying things. And listen, I'm going to say something now, and it's been 2 things have been getting up my goat recently. People trying to tell you how to support your club, right? If you want Mikel out, right? Okay. Then you know what I mean. You ain't got to have a fight and slagging match with him. You just go, all right, that's your opinion, whatever. You know what I mean. If you want him to stay, I know you ain't got no what's the word, standards and all that. You know what I mean. It's that's ridiculous as well. So listen, I think that we all want him to do well we all want him to do well. Of course, we all want him to do well, because if he's doing well, it means Arsenal are winning, So for me, listen, me and you are at different stages of what we think of Mikel. And we ain't going to start calling each other names and criticising all that. I just don't know where that comes from. And the other one that's getting on my goat at this moment in time, Dan, is it's like match-going fans have got more of a right to say something than someone that's not going. You know what I mean? As a match-going fan, we're lucky to go to games, Dan. A lot of people would like to be in a position that, one, they can afford to go, one, they can get tickets and all that, And I just think it's just so little bit toxic at the moment with the fans, because we're starting to get down that route of taking sides. I've seen this with the Wenger thing. We should got to stop doing that. You know what I mean?
It's like this, Jacob in the chat. Look, you took Arteta serious. You're both clearly fools. This is what I mean. We get all this kind of stuff. I've never taken Mikel seriously at all. But even if you did, it don't mean you're a fool. You support your club how you want. What I don't like is when people come in and start giving you abuse because of your opinion. That's different. That can be pro or against Arteta, by the way.
What does he mean? We're fools? What I don't understand.
He thinks we're fool. He obviously thought Arteta was a clown from day one, and he thinks we're silly for believing he's going to win.
Seriously, well, let's talk about that for a second. You know what I mean? We're challenging for the title for the last 2 seasons. I'm going to places where I think that we're going to win. We've gone to Spurs for the last 3 years and won there. Before that, you know what I mean, it was tin hats, and God, I hope we can get away with something out of it. There's other times when, we're going around the country now, winning games of football. We've gone to Anfield and not lost after being smacked 5-1s and that. We go to Chelsea, we don't lose so much now. I can't remember the last time we lost at Chelsea. We've gone to Old Trafford and won last season. We've gone to the Etihad in the last 2 seasons and not got pumped. You know what I mean? Come on, there's been certain things that the improvement. The question, and I get it, when people go, get him out and all that, and this is the question that you've got is he the man to get us over the line? That's a different question. But I can't have this thing like he's a clown and he's this and he's that. Have you not seen the football we played over the last couple of years? It's not about that, Yes, we finished 8th. Yes, we finished 8th again, and we missed out on things and that. But he's built a side now that you can be proud of. There's players in the team that you can be proud of, like the defence. Look at some of the defenders we've got, midfield players we've got. There's, you know, all of this thing about him being a clown and everything like that. I can't have that. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, listen, it's your opinions, and I get that. It's their opinion, but like, I'm not going to sit there and like, and this is where online and things like that just are a little bit more funny. Well, you're sitting down the pub, you can all have a conversation about it and like go, he's not the man for it, and blah blah blah. The next minute, you know what I mean, you're not picking up your pint and going, you're an idiot and whatever. Like you have a respectful conversation about it, like, you know. And listen, if you don't think he's the man to take you to where you want to go, I understand that, like, you know, and I also understand that, you know what I mean. You know, it's good if we was to get rid of him tomorrow to get someone, it don't necessarily mean that's going to be the right man as well, Dan. I know what you say. All right, then we get another one. It's all difficult sort of stuff to do that, like, you know. So I'm in the boat at this moment in time where he's not. I'm not saying he's not good enough, but I am saying I'm not 100% convinced that he can get us over the line. I really ain't. But, you know, to call him a clown and call him this and that, like, come on, like, you know. And I understand that is, you know, but one of the questions I get now, or everywhere I go now, is the first thing is, you are Arteta in or you Arteta out? Come on, we're bigger than that, guys. We're bigger than that.
Yeah. Look,
he doesn't help himself by what he says today. You know what I mean?
I don't know what he's talking about there.
It just adds a little bit more fuel to the fire. That does, doesn't it? Like,
it just makes us look more of a banter club at times. You know, I just think it's silly. Whereas, let's be real, Lee, I don't mind admitting we were a bit of a banter club not long ago. But you know, let's be real to Arteta. Mikel's come in and he has taken us to title challenging side, and he deserves credit for that. And I'd like to think that I have given him credit for that. But I certainly have given him criticism when I think he deserves it. And I think it's been justified when I've criticised him. I don't think I've been over the top by saying that I don't think Arteta can get us across the line. I don't think I've been over the top when we lose a game by saying that the tactics were wrong. I don't think I've been over the top by questioning whether he should have taken the domestic cups more seriously. If you think that, I'm not bothered, because this is YouTube and this is opinions, right? And I'm not saying that everything I've said is right and should be bowed down to, because there's stuff I've got wrong for sure. But there is definitely a section of the Arsenal fan base that I think want to be correct all the time. And I don't think that's right. I don't think it's right that you should want to be correct. I mean, for me, I want to be wrong, because that means we're doing that and we're winning trophies, right? And I take that over being right any day of the week. I think I've been trying to allow this football club to prove me wrong for, it feels like, forever now. 21 years without a title, 31 without a League Cup and a European Cup is too long, Lee, for a club the size of us. I'm sorry, it is. There's nobody can deny that. That's just the facts of it. We haven't won a title for too long, and we haven't won a European trophy for too long or a League Cup for too long.
Listen, I totally agree with that. And I think it was Perry just said, like, you know what I mean? The reason he's not good enough is because of his substitutions. And again, you can't argue with that. I will say this. I think there was a big meltdown on Saturday after the game. People losing their heads, me included. I'm the frustration of it all there, because it was the realisation that we ain't going to win it. We're not good enough. I think Saturday's game proved that we are a long way off from challenging for the title. Do you know what? The last 2 seasons, Dan, I've convinced that we've been title challengers, and you know, we haven't got quite over the line. But I'm in this boat. I don't know how many people are on this boat with me or on this train with me. That I'm not saying that Arsenal should win trophies and win titles, but I do believe that we should be challenging for them. And I felt that what I see on Saturday is not a title challenging team. It wasn't. And maybe not a title challenging manager with the decisions that he made. I don't think anybody can argue about the team selection. You know what I mean? Like, I actually said before the game, if I'll be really honest, we're playing Everton, they're not going to show an ambition. I would have played Wanyeri instead of Mikel Merino. But in saying that, I weren't totally going, oh, that's the wrong decision. It was a strong side. It should be good enough to beat Everton and break them down. It wasn't. Then the substitutions were, you know, like proving that things are not quite right from the manager's point of view. And listen, we played West Ham a couple of last season? I think it was last season, around about Christmas time, just after Christmas. Well, I think it was about 28th, was it, of December. We lost 2-0 at home, and we had 30 odd shots. And you turn around and go, as frustrating as it is, we hardly peppered Everton's goal this game. It weren't like one where we've hit the bar, hit the post, done this, done that. It was just an awful performance. And that is where I think the meltdown comes from. And people turning around and saying, Arsenal fans shouldn't be getting on to that. This has been happening for a few games now. And I don't see a lot of Arsenal fans actually moaning and groaning too much about it. There wasn't a complete meltdown after the Fulham game. There wasn't a meltdown after Chelsea when we drew there. You know what I mean? There wasn't a meltdown after we lost to Milan. You know what I mean? But I think that what it is now is that you've seen so many performances, and you see that performance against Everton, and you can just go absolutely crazy over it, and rightly so. And that's what I think has happened. I don't know what's going to happen on Wednesday if we don't get the right result Wednesday. It'd be really interesting, the team sheet and etc. and all that, what's going to go on, what team he picks. But if we don't win that game and then we lose to Palace on the weekend, realistically, are Arsenal fans expected to just go, not. I went in the pub Saturday, Dan, and there wasn't one person in there saying, "Oh, this is brilliant." You know what I mean? Like whether you're online, whether you're sitting at home or whatever, everybody in the pub was down and moaning and groaning about it.
Not heard booze in the stadium for ages.
No, well, yeah, exactly. Got booze in the stadium. When was the last time you had booze in the stadium? That's a long, long while ago. You know what I mean? So I can't remember the last time, you know what I mean, like where there was booing in the stadium. So that tells you a lot, doesn't it?
It does. It really does. Look, let's get a bit of opinion from some of the comments, some of the super chats that we've got. We've got Warsaw H says, lads, your manager's delusional. There's been more Charity Shield winners than Charity Shield games. Again, I don't know why he's making comments like that. It is not a good look. Ricky has said, Dan, calling the FA Cup winning team Emery's team is not right. By that logic, 7 out of 11 players there were Wenger players. I'm Arteta out now. I'm tired. There we go. A lot of people have said that they've switched and they're now Arteta out. Look, that's their opinion. That's up to them. Ryan says, Mikel's done an incredible job, but thinking we'll have our right to ask questions if we don't get over the line. Everyone's allowed their opinion. Absolutely right. If people believe that he's not the guy, then just say he's not the guy. If people believe he's going to be the one to get us across the line and you want to keep that faith, you're not an idiot for thinking that. People will disagree. That's all it is. Ricky says, Lee, when players start pulling out of 50-50s and show no urgency, they're not playing for Mikel or the club anymore. That doesn't end well for a manager. I must say, Lee, I said this to you and Curtis the other night. I've seen now in the last 2 games against Fulham and Everton, both of our number 9s pull out of 50-50 challenges, and that ain't good enough for me. When you look at what Jesus did at Fulham, it was nasty. When you look at what Havertz did against Everton, pulling out of 50-50s, it weren't good enough. And I think you've just got to be real about some of that and say that, yes, Mikel's got some problems tactically. His subs were appalling against Everton, in my opinion. Bringing on Partey, putting Timber to left back, Jorginho coming on for Rice. All of these attackers that we could have been brought on, he weren't really interested. He was like for like too much again. Certainly, you've got to look at other people, though, as well. You've got to look at some of the players that aren't performing at the moment. You've also got to look at the board and the ownership for putting together one of the worst summer transfer windows I'll ever see. I was with LB and Terry earlier. They were talking about it, saying it's one of the most shambolic windows that I've seen. I was shocked by what they said from Arsenal. They didn't need a left back, a squad player, and a Raheem Sterling. They just could not believe what it was like. And I think you go back to the previous summer. I think Turkish brought this up the other day, saying that we had our Van Dijk and Alisson window, and we bought Havertz as one of those players, which is a massive, massive L. I mean, I know he's been a good player, but he is a squad player for me. He's not someone you look at as a number 9 that's going to win you anything to get you across the line. Rice, different story. You pay the money, you get what you deliver. The problem we got with Rice is he's played too many games. He looks injured, is injured as we hear. Apparently he's okay now. And we're playing him out of position half the time now. So there's a lot wrong at the moment and comes off of it. But my question to you, bruv, is where does the blame lie here? Because it can't just be with one person. I refuse to believe that it is just with Mikel Arteta. As much as I've got problems with him, I have, and I'll call it out. I don't care. I don't mind saying it. I'll say it with chest that I don't think he's good enough for Arsenal to get us across the line. But I don't just look at Mikel. I think there's problems elsewhere behind the scenes. I think there's problems above. I think there's problems with the ownership. I don't know where you stand on this one.
I think it's all round everything like that. Let's first of all talk about the players. You know, how many times have you walked out the stadium and felt let down by the players? Not very many times, if I'll be honest. And one of the things that you can turn around and say about the players, whether they're playing well, and we'll bring up Martinelli in this if you want. If he's not playing well, he's putting in an incredible shift. That's what is a gimme. It's expected. That's what's expected of your players, right? Now, yeah, I'm expecting my players to go for that. You know what I mean? Because, you know, I expect it from my vets team on a Sunday. I wouldn't want them pulling out, and they haven't got the medical health care and insurances that these players have got, like, you know. And also, if you do get injured, they still get paid. So when players pull out 50-50, professional footballers pull out 50-50 balls, that's a disgrace, Dan. And Jesus done it, if you want to look at it like, and I think Havertz done it on Saturday as well. I felt that, I don't say they actually pulled out of it. I think that they could have made more of a gallant effort.
More of an effort for it. Yeah.
More an effort to get it. And they might get hurt, they might get it. So what? You're playing for Arsenal Football Club. So that's it on from there. But I would say, like, for the majority of the times, I don't feel let down by the players. Are they good enough? That's another question. Are they good enough to be top four and good enough to play for Arsenal? Yes. Are they good enough to go and win a title? Big question marks. And that's the same with the manager that you can say on it now. Now, listen, there's a lot of people, and I use the goalkeeping situation, like, you know. Aaron Ramsdale was a very, very good goalkeeper, but someone else come better along and bosh, gone. Now, that can be said about the manager, you know what I mean? And it all can be said about the forwards as well. I don't think that Mikel has been ruthless with the forwards. But what I will say about it, and this is where it's interesting in January, if one of those forwards comes up, like, is he going? Are they going to be as ruthless as they were when they were with a goalkeeping situation, or with a midfield player, or as ruthless as they have been with Smith Rowe? Good, you know. Smith Rowe's done very, very well for Mikel over the years, kept him in a job, but he felt when Yerry was better, gone. So it'll be very interesting what they do on the forward front. If they don't buy anybody in January and in trying to improve that attacking third, then that's down on the owners, and then it's down on the manager as well. Like, you know, now, has the manager been good enough this season? No, not in my opinion. Didn't find the solution for Odegaard being injured. Didn't find a solution for Saliba being out a couple of years ago. You know, lost so many points because of it. Played holding far too many games before bringing in Kivior, and the rest is history. Has he found a way this season of breaking down teams? No, he hasn't. And the other thing, which is a big point, Dan, and a big, very, very big point, is when you look at the transfer window, when they sat down in there, what was they actually going for?
Yeah.
Did they really need another? And did they really need Calafiori? I don't really need Calafiori, because at the end of the day, I think he's decent and all that. Like, but he's hardly been here. He's hardly been here. We're now playing our third, fourth choice left back, who's a young kid. Like, you know, I think that, do we really need Marino? Not really. I know that we need someone for. We need someone to bolster the squad in the midfield and all that. Like, could we have got away with it? I don't know. You still got Jorginho, and at this moment in time, you're playing Thomas Partey on the bench. So I don't know. But did we need a forward? Yes, we did. Did we need a forward to replace Havertz? Debatable after what he done last season. But what I will say is that we need somebody that that's an upgrade on Jesus. Now, someone made a very, very good point today, or I can't remember if I was watching something or someone said it, is that we look at, I'll tell you, it was White Yardie, I think, that turned around and said that we look a better team when Jesus is playing, and we look a little bit more better with patterns and play, but we don't look like scoring. So we've got to find a solution there. We've got to find a solution. Now, everybody else turns around and says certain things like turns around and says that there's people like, I was going to say, lost my train of thought there. Like there's white, like, if we beat a team, we've beaten, I think Robbie said to me, we beat a team like, Sporting 5-1. We beat West Ham 4-1. We beat we didn't need a striker then. We won 3-0 against we won 3-0 against Monaco. But yeah, look back at that game against Monaco and missed some very, very good chances. So at the end of it, we've missed a lot of chances. And there are times when you are going to play and you're going to beat teams 4 or 5-0, and because we've got good players all around the park, Dan. But there is those games like Saturday, like Newcastle away, like even Bournemouth, if you can go in on there, that sometimes even if you're up against it, even with 10 men, you get a result. I remember we had 10 men going into Anfield. And we went on 1-2-1 up there because we had Henry, we had Lundberg, we had Perez that could score goals, you know, and that's where I think we were lacking. I do think that we're missing a striker. We're missing a striker that can change things for us.
Yeah, we really are. Question here from Joseph, which says, which transfer window was worse, this past summer one or the Petr Cech window? I remember this question being asked to me and actually being brought up when the transfer window shut. People were saying this is as bad as the Petr Cech window. I thought both were as bad as each other. I've got to be real. I think what we had back then was we were a striker away from winning the league. And funny enough, we're a striker away from many people think winning the league. I think we're actually more than that now. I think we are. I think we're more than that. I think that we needed in this summer window a proper midfielder and a proper striker. And we ended up with a left back, a winger that we don't play, and a squad player in Marino. And I'm not saying Marino's daft or rubbish, by the way. I'm not saying that. I'm sure he can come in and do a job for us and be a contributor. But I don't think it's the player that we needed to go, cool, you know what? That midfield is like levels now. And that striker has taken us across the line. Calafiori, I'm sure he might be half decent left back, but he ain't available enough. And Marino hasn't been able to play enough games to make an influence yet at all. So I think we have to just be real and say that we have regressed this season. Some of that's on the manager, some of that's on the board and the owners, and some of it's on the window. And also some of it, if I'm honest with you, I just think at the moment the style of play has been so bad that I'm not enjoying watching the football anymore, Lee. This season, I ain't enjoyed watching Arsenal. You know?
No, but can I ask a question? I'll ask it to the chat as well. Like, just one question. Like, what was Sterling coming into the club to be? Was he a Saka replacement, a cover for Saka? If he's a cover for Saka, then he ain't going to get a lot of games, is he? Ain't going to get a lot of game time, whoever it is, because you want Saka playing week in, week out. Now
he's not getting any minutes, so is he? He's not getting anything.
Is that a bad thing or not? If he's actually Saka's cover, do you know what?
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I'm saying? Like, so for me, like, he comes in now on Wednesday tomorrow, and Saka rests. That's what a cover does, yeah. So, like, in certain games, you can say, right, Saka's not playing. I'm resting Saka. But most of the games, you want Saka playing all the time. So, I don't really know what yes, he can play on both wings. I get that. So, maybe that's what they want. But, so it'd be really interesting if Saka was to get a little knock and all that, it should be Sterling that comes in and plays that role. I don't think that that's what it is with him. I don't really know what you know.
But why is he not getting a look in, Lee? Like, why is he not getting anything? Like, even when we needed a goal against Everton, when we've needed goals before.
Well, that's another. I don't know.
Like the Inter Milan one, for example. Inter Milan, he's cup tied against Chelsea. He doesn't get any minutes against Inter Milan. He can't play against Chelsea. What are we doing? Like, what's the point of this signing? I don't get it.
That is something I don't understand. I know that. Listen, I'm just using this as an example. I'm not saying it was doing, but why not play him at right back? Or what on the game
wing
against?
Back, you mean?
Yeah, there's a wing back in that game against Everton or something like that. If you're I don't know, if you're a forward, right, and you're struggling to break down a team, wouldn't you expect every one of your forwards to be on at the end of the game? I would. You know what I mean? Like, I would be going home, like, you know, if that was me back in the day, I'd go home to my dad and go, where am I going to get a game if we're 0-0 or 1-0 down and I'm not coming on? You know what I mean? Like, what am I doing here? That's what I would be saying, and that's what I'll be straight in the end, you know, like, I understand it if it's you're 2-0 up, you know, or you're 1-0 up, you don't want to change things. I get all of that. But how are you going to get into the team? And you know, I think that your mum's right there. He was a panic buy at the last minute, really. I think he was. You know what I mean? Like,
well, he must have been, because he was only available 48 hours before we got him.
Yeah, I do see it as we went for somebody else and couldn't get him.
Yeah.
We
went for Nico Williams, didn't we? But he weren't available, so he had to move on. But you go and get Pedro Neto, or you go and get Eze. You don't go and get Raheem Sterling. You know, like Andy was in our group chat saying yesterday, well, should we get Rashford on loan in January? I'm thinking, is this what we do now? Can you imagine? Right, let's just give you an example of this what we're doing, right? If I said to you 3 seasons ago, right? If I said to you, this is going to be quite an interesting few years for Arsenal, Lee. We're going to say to Man City, which players don't you want? Oh, Jesus and Zinchenko, we'll have them at the Arsenal. Which players don't you want, Chelsea? Jorginho and Havertz, we'll have them at the Arsenal. Do you want Sterling as well? We'll have him. Let us have him. Yeah. Who don't you want, Man United? Well, we don't really want Rashford. Do you fancy him? We'll have him at the Arsenal. I don't want to be that club who will have people's cast-offs. I want to go and get our own players. You know, we never used to do this, by the way. Yeah, we never used to do this. The only players we used to go and get from other clubs was Sol Campbell. Players like that years ago at Highbury. Yeah, so at the Emirates, we've decided to go and get people's cast-offs. I'm sick and tired of Chelsea's cast-offs. I don't want any players it used to be. Why don't we go and make our own left back instead of our own left winger instead of going and nicking Chelsea's? Why don't we get our own central midfielder instead of going and nicking Man United? Let's go and get someone that we believe is going to take us forward. We started to do it with the Odegaards. That was a great signing. Declan Rice, we got West Ham's good player. Not, you know, they don't want to give us Fabianski back, do they? We want to go and get Declan Rice or Kudus next. This is what we want to be doing. I don't want to be going and get these Rashfords and all these players. This Rashford is the reason they won at the weekends, because he's been left at home and they played Diallo and won. Why do we want Rashford? It's just a joke, mate. I don't understand it.
Well, the thing with Rashford is that, you know, we can't get him at the moment on loan anyway. You're only allowed 2 loan players.
Yeah, exactly.
We've got to. So unless we sign Neto on a permanent, that we're going to do. There's this mentality in there, like, you know what I mean? Oh, well, I'd rather have Rashford than no one at all, right? But we were saying that about Sterling in the summer.
Yeah.
It's exactly the same thing there, isn't it? Nothing's really moved on. What Arsenal got to do is they've got to flex their muscles. If an Arsenal are a big enough club, Dan, to be able to do that and go, right, oh, we can't get no one in January. Well, you can if you make an offer that they can't refuse. You ain't going to get an Isaac. You ain't going to get a Corcoran or somebody like that on the cheap for a deal. You know what I mean? You might get the next level down, but I'm talking big thing. You've got to get them out of the club. You weren't going to get Declan Rice for 70 million, Dan. I think if in the current climate, probably Declan Rice is 70, 80 million pound player, right? But to get him out of West Ham, you had to pay 100 million.
We have to get him.
Yes, exactly.
That's right.
So you're going to have to do that now in January, if you know what I mean. Like, and you know, unfortunately in football, the January sales is not the January sales in football. There's no bargains out there. You know, if you know, like, listen. If you go to Next on January the 5th, right, you know what I mean? They've got the sales selection, right? Yeah. Oh, you know, 50% off, 40% off. And you think, I'll tell you what, I see a lovely jumper in there before Christmas. You know what I mean? And you go in there, it's not in the sale. Oh no, that's in the normal stock. You know, they're only putting on sale what they want to get rid of. So in January, if you want to get that, but you ain't going into the sales department. You're going into the
But
money
this is why,
department.
though, Lee, we have to look at the 2 release clauses of Osimhen and Gyökeres and get one of them. We just got to release one of them clauses and get them. And they're about 50 to 70 million. Let's just go and get them.
They
That's what's got to
do
happen.
it. Do you know what we did with
got-
Thomas Partey? Thomas Partey, right? Well, you think it's a good sign and blah, 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 blah. Madrid didn't want him out, but we went and just activated the clause. They couldn't do nothing about it. There's nothing that Sporting can do if we do exactly the same with him, right? There's nothing they can do with Osimhen as well, like. So they've got a choice. Go and do it, like, you know what I mean? Like, you know?
Yeah, totally agree. And I think when you look at it, you've got to look at the as well, the positions that we need to strengthen. It ain't just a striker, by the way, but certainly that's got to be the bare minimum that we get. I mean, I was just listening and trying to look at what Arteta had said, and in the press conference, he said that he's happy with his squad and he fully trusts them. Well, people might say, well, he's not going to do anything in January, but he has to say that, Lee.
Of course,
he
he has to say that. Look, come on, let's get sensible about that. Of course, he has to say it. If he says his squad's not good enough, he's basically telling you that he's basically telling players in that squad they're not good enough. You know, he might be mad about the trophies and the Community Shield today, but he ain't that naive. He ain't that naive. I'll tell you a little story. I was playing when I was managing back a few years ago. Like, press asked me a question and turned around and said, like, "What do you need?" I said, "I need a striker because we don't score enough goals." Right. Sitting in the office the next training session on the Thursday, there's 2 knocks on the door. Who do you think it is? My 2 forwards.
Forwards, yeah.
What are you saying that for?
Yeah, exactly.
And I was the slip of the tongue, like, you know what I mean, like blah blah blah. But the cut, you know, I learned a lesson from that. So you ain't going to say it, you know. You know, like in a way, he's probably saying, yeah, I'm happy with Aaron Ramsdale, but on the other hand, he's looking to sign Raya, and he did. You know what I mean? So listen,
Do you think he's happy with his front line? I don't think he is.
Well, are you?
No, I'm not. But do you think Arteta is?
Well, we'll put it in the chat. If is anybody? So if you're not happy with it, and I'm not happy with it, and most of the Arsenal fans ain't happy with it, surely he ain't. Surely he ain't, Dan. You know, come on. You know what I mean? Like, are you happy with the way teams playing at this moment in time? Is everybody happy? No. Is he happy about it? No, I'm pretty sure he isn't neither. You know, he'll say that, you know, they're creating a few chances here and there. You know what I mean? We created more chances with Jesus in the side. I know it was against Monaco than we did against Everton. But you telling me that Everton are better than Monaco? I don't know, Dan. I don't know. But we still missed a hatful of chances. So, you know, he can't be happy with it. Like, is he happy with the left side? I don't think so.
No.
We're all fans, right? We're all fans, right? I'll throw a few things at you, right? Are you happy with the goalkeeper?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, so am I.
Yeah, I'm not happy with the backup, but I'm happy with it.
Yeah, but you're happy with the goalkeeper. Forget about that. You're happy with the goalkeeper, yeah? Right? Are you happy with Timber at right back?
Yes.
You happy with Ben White at right back?
Yeah, I like Ben White.
You happy with Saliba and Gabriel?
Love him. Love them both.
Are you happy with Declan Rice?
Yep, love him.
Are you happy with Saka?
Yep.
Right. So they're all the questions that Mikel's going to say yes to as well. Are you happy with the left side?
No.
Are you happy with the left back situation?
No.
Right. Are you happy with the balance of the left side?
No.
As a whole? So Mikel's going to say the same things as you.
You hope so.
Well, you bloody hope so. Not because we're saying all the same things. We might not be experts of coaching all that, but we've watched a lot of football. We know something's not right at Arsenal Football Club at this moment in time. I'm not saying, you know, are you happy with that team if you want to get top 4? Yes. Yes, it's a top 4 team. 2-3 years ago, we'd be happy with top 4. But things move on, Dan. We're not happy with top 4 now, are we? Let's be honest. You happy with top 4 now?
Not at all, mate. No.
3 years ago, we was walking out of Tottenham's ground, disappointed because we hadn't got top 4. Right, you know. Roshan, before you say anything, Lee giving death threats to Odegaard. Get your facts right before you come on here. All right. I'm getting the hump with it now. All right. Don't just look at a clip, look at it all. All right. I've had enough of it now, like, you know what I mean? You know, people watching just watch clips. Gets on my nerves, you know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, yes,
they're idiots, mate. Absolute idiots. They don't watch it. They're trying to wind people up. They're just absolute morons that need to go and actually get out of their mum's basement and get off the keyboard warrior stuff. That's in my opinion. But look, man, we have got a game tomorrow. I've got to be real. I really want to win this game, and I actually want to win it a lot more than what people might actually in the chat. I really, really want to win the whole cup. You know my thoughts on this cup.
Yeah.
Man. I grew up winning it, and I know people laugh at it and think it's out of order. Oh, Dan Potts wants the League Cup. Oh my God, lowered standards. No, I haven't. I want to win trophies, and this is one I think we can win. So look, I'll be interested to know your thoughts on the team. I'm going to put up what I think the team might be. I don't know if you believe this is.
No, I've got an idea in my team. Go on.
Well, this is what I'm going to kind of go with, and this is what I've kind of gone with a bit of what I'm thinking, a bit of what Mikel Arteta might think, and it could be quite an interesting one for the chat. This one, Raya's going to have to play in goal because obviously, unless you put the kid in goal, which I don't think he will, because Neto's cup tied. I've gone with Timber, Saliba, Gabriel, and Lewis Skelly because I don't think we've got much option other than putting Partey or Kivior in there. But I wouldn't do that, but he might do. Jorginho, I think, will play because he's played against Bolton and Preston in this competition, so I imagine he'll continue. I've gone with Nwaneri and Ødegaard there because I just feel like we need to give it to Palace a bit, but he might put Marino or Rice in that 8. I've gone with Saka because he plays every single game. He played against Bolton, so I imagine he'll play this one. I've gone with Jesus up top because I just think he's a player that I think needs a bit of confidence at the moment, and Mikel Arteta seems to be trying to force him on at times. And then I've gone with Martinelli at left. I would go with Sterling, but I think he's just not interested in Sterling at all. So I've gone a little bit half and half for what I'd do and what I think Arteta would do there. What are you saying, bro?
Difficult one for me. This, like, you know, this is interesting because he can't play Neto, can he, in these games?
No.
So he's got to play Raya, right? Okay. Ideally, he wouldn't play. It'd be really interesting to see if Neto plays in an FA Cup game against Manchester United, by the way.
I think he will. I think he will.
You know? Got to play some stage, isn't he? So, like Raya in goal, I'm going to go with. I think you arrest Timber. I think you played Thomas Partey at right back. Central defence of. I think you play Saliba, and Kivior, and left back will be Miles Skelly. Midfield, I'm with you there. Jorginho, Nwaneri, and I think Marino will play in there. That'll be the 3. Up front, I think that I'm going to go with Jesus down the middle, Sterling, and Trossard.
So you think it will be this team? You think it'll be Raya, Partey, Saliba, Kivior, or Lewis Skelly, Jorginho, Marino, and Ødegaard? Did you say, or Nwaneri?
Nwaneri.
So Ødegaard will be rested, okay. And then you think it will be, who did you say is the front 3?
Jesus, Sterling, and Trossard.
Jesus, Sterling, and Trossard. So we'll go with Sterling on the right and then Trossard on the left. Interesting. Yeah, I think that he's going to make a couple of changes. I just don't know how many it will be. I just feel like Nwaneri needs to play. Lewis Skelly, I think, should play at left back. Just depends what he's going to do with that left 8. Is he going to play, if he plays Nwaneri, is he going to play Ødegaard and Nwaneri, or is he going to drop Ødegaard and just play one or the other? Because I just love him to see him go for it a bit, Lee. I'd love it to see Ødegaard and Nwaneri playing together in that midfield. I think we could do it against Palace. I don't think that they're a team that can dominate our midfield. I don't think they're a team that need to be a little bit worried about their front line. He's got Eddie Nketiah in it, for God's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, if he scores, by the way, oh, dear me. So...
I think both teams will make changes for this one because of Saturday as well. One, it's next to each other. It's not that far. Like, you got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday the game. If it was Sunday, I might, you know, or the game was like Tuesday, it might be like a few little changes. But I also think because we're playing the same team, there'll be a different team selections. Do you know what I mean? I think that.
Yeah.
I do, like, you know what I mean. This is a big. It's a big gamble for for Mikel. You know what I mean? If he was to lose this game and have another cup defeat at home, it's a real difficult one. Listen, if he plays a full team tomorrow, I'm not going to criticise him. And if he plays that team that I've said, I'm not going to criticise him. For me, then it's down on the players. You know what I mean? Get out there and do it. Like, you know what I mean? This is, you've got a chance now to win a trophy. And listen, you don't know what's going to happen in the semi. You've got two-legged semi-finals. So it's going to be difficult. So whoever you play, you know what I mean? I think Liverpool's still in there, aren't they? They play Southampton. Well, you would expect Liverpool to go through that. Spurs and Manchester United playing. Newcastle, don't write them off at this moment in time. I think they're playing Brentford, aren't they? Like, you wouldn't want to play
Brentford.
Brentford. You wouldn't want to. I think that. I know they sound silly, but because Newcastle are at home, you're going for them. If it was the other way around at Brentford at home, I think you'd go for Brentford, like, you know. So let's just say that it works out on home form apart from the Southampton game, like, you know what I mean? Arsenal, Tottenham, Newcastle, and Liverpool. You know, that's 4 tough games. Tough teams, you know what I mean? Like, got to go at home and away against one of them, like, to get into the final. So, whoever you get in the semi-final, for instance, Newcastle away on a Wednesday or a Tuesday night, Liverpool the same, and also Tottenham, you know what I mean? So, because it's Tottenham against us, so some very, very difficult games there. And even if Manchester United do surprise them and get the result, you're going to Old Trafford. So, it's no give me once you get through this round that you're going to go on to the final. You'd be one of the favourites if you didn't avoid. If Liverpool and Arsenal avoid each other, you would suspect that they'd be the 2 favourites. But we'll have to wait and see. Like, you know what I mean? I don't think it's easy at this moment in time. What we just got to do, Dan, is just make sure we get through. This is what we got to do. Just get ourselves through, and we move on from there, like, you know.
Look, I'm going to close by asking you your prediction tomorrow night. I've gone with a head and a heart one because I'm just worried about watching Arsenal at the moment. I think there's a blueprint of how to play us, and Fulham and Everton have just showed everybody how to do it. Look, my heart says we'll win 2-0 tomorrow night and we'll be a better side. My head's sort of saying that this could go to penalties and be like a 0-0 and a real boring one again, especially if we make changes. I've seen us make changes like that against Southampton and it be 0-0 and then go and they score. I've seen us make changes against Preston and Bolton and it's gone well, but that was Preston and Bolton. This is a different outfit. Palace are coming off the back of a win as well, so they're going to be a little bit more confident boosted. I don't know about you. I don't want this to be 0-0 and go to penalties because that can go either way.
Yeah.
I'd rather be more confident and go for the 2-0, I think. What are you saying?
Well, I've gone 2-0, funny enough, but like, you know, and the reason I've gone for that is because I think Crystal Palace, if it was a league game, would be very, very happy to just sit in and take a point, you know, but they're, you know, then you've got to go through the rigmarole of penalties and all that, like, you know, there's got to be a winner. I think that I'm more confident about this game than Saturday, if I'll be really honest. I'm not looking forward to Saturday whatsoever.
No, me neither.
I'm not looking forward to going down there because, you know, I don't know what I'm going to get, but I do think at home we'll be a little bit better. And I think that both teams will probably make more than 2 or 3 changes. So I think that, you know, will be in our favour. And listen, you can't beat Crystal Palace at home, Dan. You know, questions have got to be asked. And, you know, Crystal Palace has started to come into a little bit of form. But they was never a team that should have been down there. Anyway, I watched a few of their performances, and one of the reasons that they're not where they were is because they weren't taking their chances, and they were sort of playing Eddie on the left, trying to cater for that. Now they've actually made the right decision, chosen either one of them. And unfortunately for Eddie, he's the one being left out. So we'll have to wait and see. I think it'll be a difficult game. I think that they'll probably play Eddie up front in this game. And then Mateta, is it Mateta?
Yeah.
He'll play the next game, like, you know. So, and he's an handful.
Yeah, he is.
But, you know, listen, you know, like Manchester City went there last week. They, as soon as there was a goal down, it was a difficult place to go down. So I'm not looking forward to that game there, but I think it's a little bit different at home. So I just think that we'll get through it, which is a good, hopefully anyway, like, you know.
Look, the last two things I wanted to mention, which is really quick before we do close. Sam's actually brought one of them up. Big up to you, Sam. I hope you're well, bro. He says Max Dowman was in training today. He wasn't in the under-21 squad yesterday. Do you think that he'll be in the squad tomorrow? Seems a bit unlikely. He did obviously mention Ethan Waneri as well and said that he's can play in a number of positions and he sees his future in the 9, which I thought was a very strange thing to say because I don't see him as a centre forward, if I'm honest with you. But I do see him as an attacking midfielder. Max Dowman is only 14, I think, maybe even just about 15. Someone will let us know in the chat. I can't see this being the case, but what do you think, mate?
No chance. You know what I mean? Like, you know, no, I don't. You know what I mean? Like, you can't have 14, 15-year-old kids playing in quarterfinals of the cup. You know what I mean?
I agree.
You just I don't know even if you're allowed to at 14 play, are you?
No, I don't think you can. I think don't you have to be 15 or 16? It must be 15. Oh, he's 15 on New Year's Eve, Fizzy's telling me. So he's nearly 15. But you can't have that. You can't have that, surely.
No, I'd be really interesting to know what age you can have. There's got to be a cut off somewhere. I'm pretty sure it's 15.
I might be wrong. Let us know in the chat. How old do you have to be to make a first team appearance? How old do you have to be? Because you know what Arteta's like. He did it with Ethan. He'd probably bring him on at 14, wouldn't he?
Well, he was 15, wasn't he? He was 15.
He was 15. So maybe it's 15 then.
You know what I mean? I cannot see it being any you know, like 14. That's not right. I don't think. I think 15 is pushing it.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But it'd be interesting. Someone's just said they've heard Matt Dowman's making the squad. Apparently, it's 15 years old that you can start. Wow. Can you imagine?
When he's not 15, you know.
Oh, no, he's not 15 then, is he? Surely you can't. I don't know. I have no idea. But either way, we shouldn't be trying to look at whether he should be coming on, should we? I mean, let's be real. That's just not in my opinion. That's just madness thinking of playing Max Dowman. As much as I'd be excited to see him, I wouldn't want him coming on, man. So yeah, let's just see. Let's let him develop and let him grow because he looks like a talent. Lee, you'll be there tomorrow night, I guess.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be there tomorrow night, like, you know. So looking forward to it. I say looking forward to it. As I say, like, you know, I'm definitely looking more forward to this than Saturday. Like, you know, I'm treading Saturday, to be fair.
Same.
You know.
Yeah, well, I'm not going on Saturday, but I'll be there tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, so you know, it'll be a good game. Listen, hopefully it's a good game. Get the early goal and we can sit there and enjoy it a little bit more. Like, I didn't enjoy Saturday one iota. Dan didn't enjoy it. Didn't enjoy the game. Didn't enjoy the way it panned out. So we need to get back in a bit better and hopefully get the result tomorrow.
Absolutely. All right, listen, big up to you all. We're going to be there at the game tomorrow night. If you are there, come and say hello. And we will be back to review it, I am very sure. Big up to everyone that's put in your super chats. Thanks for all your comments and interaction. Please make sure that you have hit a like and a subscribe. We've had well over 800 people in here the whole time. So thank you so much, people. That's amazing numbers. If you could do me a favor and you could come and watch us over at 8 p.m. on Football's 12th Man. It'll be myself, Kenny Ken, Northsidey Gal. There's going to be quite a few rants and raves over there, I'm sure, because they're all very different people with opinions. So that should be a very good and heated panel debate. I will see you over there at 8 p.m. on Football's 12th Man. Lee, I'll let you say goodbye and have the last word.
Yes, enjoy tonight. I don't know. There's no games on tonight, is there? No games.
I think so.
All tomorrow, like League Cup all tomorrow. Yep. So enjoy tonight. If you're going to the game, enjoy it. If you're not and watching it on TV, make sure you get a blanket. So when Palace go forward, you can put it over your head. Have a good night.